Hmm. All right, everybody. Just a just a little bit. And yes, I am late again, so I hope that gold professor who said, "Sup everyone." Oh yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, my laptop had an unfortunate run in with life, but yeah, it'll be back. But it was for the greater good, so it's no big deal. But then I was figuring out like, damn, how I'm gonna do my Monday show, and then it was like, wow, you can do StreamYard from your phone. And I was late thinking about that. I didn't really think about that at first. So I know, yeah, it's an excuse. Something always happens every week. I intend on going on one time and I end up always at the same time. So I guess I should just set this for 10:15 every Monday. But, for the working individual, that's really no good. And I have a bunch of working individuals watching my channel. So that's why we got replay. So anyway, how is everyone doing? Just want to wait till the getting is good for a second. Oh my god, yeah, it's been an interesting week. Yeah, what are we looking at here? Yeah, Eric Benet. Uh, I wish I really could screen share. You can't screen share from your cell phone. But Eric Benet has sparked a debate on everything always sparks a debate on social media. Eric Benet has said that birth control should have been made for men. That birth control was made for the wrong gender. Oh man. I always say the best birth control is just not to just practice abstinence because of many things that can happen. But that's unrealistic in 2020 when you have a generation of people that are driven by sex and sex appeal and everything sex. You know, a group of people wanting a pat on the back for who they have sex with is crazy. Like everything is just always sex, sex, sex. And speaking of sex, it's just we're talking about gender, gender issues. Yeah. Really, what I used to call this thing that used to happen on social media is the sexual frustration gender war because it's always just about who's having sex with who. It's kind of ridiculous. So, but not trying to kill anybody's freedom of speech though. Never trying to do that. I'm willing to hear you out. As a black man, if you got to be willing to hear me out as well. But the point is that I'm gonna get back to about Eric Benet is that is a lot of people do agree with Eric Benet and his view on birth control, basically saying, and I'm not gonna get into too much detail because I need a visual for this. Because really, I just probably gonna get into like talking about Eric Benet's presentation. This motherfucker like an alcoholic. I don't know if anybody's seen the picture that was attached to that article, but but of course, what nobody say, like the people who agreed with that notion wasn't really saying shit. I'm like, man, if you're gonna say some shit that's supposed to be helpful, man, at least you can show up a little deep, like various guys in the manosphere. Yep. So anyway, the subject matter tonight, the topic is the quick condemnation of the black man. And I pretty much would say is probably the easiest to do that it has ever been in the year 2020. And that's not me trying to play the victim because I'm a black man. Because I don't know, I guess because of my I would say I have somewhat of a volatile spirit. you know, I'm not one of those people that would just wish that, oh, black people just need to comment and get along and go to church and put their hands together. I mean, no, I don't care about how you worship. Like, I don't care, nobody. I don't really think people should care about how I worship either. But if that's your way of, I mean, solving a problem, but it's a thing that's called sexual responsibility that everybody is responsible for. They know this. We're supposed to know this. Everybody has either had a sex ed class or seen a hard lesson close to them, like one of their friends. And what I will say is better decision making is probably the best birth control. People like Eric Benet who sit there look like a scruffy homeless person trying to give a message. Like the same picture, like with Lenny Kravitz. Like they had a meme with Lenny Kravitz going around holding up a sign like "Let women have control, men have their chance," like that kind of thing. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, well, have some balls, or because I guess Jason Momoa is screwing his ex-wife, but that's been for some years. But I mean, if you okay, black man, and I'm talking to you right now. If you weren't a great leader, there's no need to take it out on everyone else with your sadness and pathetic look. And I'm gonna say, I mean, and that dude could be going through anything. Both of them dudes could be going through anything. They look pretty tired. It's like both of them dudes look like they ain't slept in like 2 years apiece, like put together, but still, that's not very good. But it's what. But my point is this: it's that message is coming from like physically weak and defeated men. You know, it's just so those two things connect. Weak message, weak man. Hey, end of story. If 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 you're worried about black men holding black men accountable for such things, then that's me holding a couple black men accountable. Not necessarily because of what they said, is because their presentation was garbage and their message kind of was too. Seriously, there's no female stronghold in Western culture that can lead properly. No, I mean not even in the Oprah network. So you can toss that to the side. Not saying that without the proper, not saying with the proper guidance, you know, that no one can have a chance. Like with the proper guidance, anyone can have a chance, you know, male or female. But not like this. There are not any shining examples out there. I'm not gonna leave my black man out because of course this is black men being brutally honest. That name is rooted from black men being brutally honest with everyone. And that is everyone. So if you scan my channel a little bit, you will see that I'm brutally honest with a variety of people because that's just the way it is. Okay, all right. So it's Monday. It's Monday, and everybody knows it or should know. So black men are quickly condemned. Yes. So it's like this. I'm going to explain it like this. This is kind of a facet of white supremacy when you are willing to condemn black men after one mistake. And there is some of those examples in the manosphere. There's like one particular manosphere guy, Kevin Samuels, and everybody's like, "Oh, everybody's bringing up Kevin Samuels." I mean, they found a clip of him saying some things and asking about the size of a man's, what. And honestly, I understood coming into YouTube is that if I say anything, it could be recorded and used again. In fact, that has happened a couple times already. So people have to watch what they say, and I took that as a lesson. Do I think the man is doing funny stuff on the side? That's his business if he's doing funny stuff on the side. But I don't know. I think that it was just I don't know hubris on his part because I think what he was, from my understanding, I mean, I didn't watch the entire show, so I don't have the entire context. Because here's what we do as black people: we take one little bit and we try to destroy someone with it instead of seeing the whole picture. It's like Facebook reporting. Facebook only sees that comment. They don't see the context of the conversation, nor do they have any one or two people, especially in these COVID times, that'll go through a conversation to see the context. Well, I don't know. Personally, I think that's bullshit. I think everybody got time. I think they watching all that shit, but they put it on the algorithm. They don't see the context. So that's what that's what your normal average everyday garden variety hater would do. They would take one thing that lasts like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 seconds because I didn't watch the whole clip because I just kind of like, all I heard was, oh, do you have a big dick? Do you have a big dick? No, I heard that. I saw that. So so that happened, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck what the man did. All I know is this. He's been getting very popular lately. And whenever a black man gains steam in anything, it seems like someone finds a way to humiliate that man. We bring him down. So is that guy, Mr. Samuels, gonna ever forget that he asked a man on air that he had a big, penis? And the answer is probably going to be, nah, they ain't gonna let him forget. At least not in the near and the sort of distant future. And they're not going to, because we aren't a forgiving people. Because one thing I know is a facet of white supremacy that we never let anything go when a black man does something one time. It doesn't happen like that. Okay. Shout out to Black Guru Strikes. Yeah. So anyway, is this we get one chance. So oh yeah, here's what I was about to talk about. Like I said, it's a facet of white supremacy. Yeah, when I was in my younger days and I used to work these jobs and everything, hierarchy, chain of command. One thing that I was allowed to do on these jobs was to be quite verbal with people. You know, that's what being a cook is. You communicate. You have to communicate with the front of the house staff. And this was about, I would say, 23 to 24 years ago. Till till a little while ago. I would say I spent that long doing that, and it was a great experience. I know how to cook all kinds of shit. So when black women start criticizing things like what do black men know how to do, but they're asking us to submit. Like, do you know how to cook? Do you know how to fix things? Do you pay for stuff? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I fixed the stove by looking on YouTube. I've hooked up equipment in this house, ran wires, painted. Um, I fixed I fixed the central AC unit in the attic. Like, I do all kinds of shit because all I have to do is look at. But I had the honor and the privilege of growing up around very crafty men. Men who were very handy, who was very hands on, that showed me how to be a man. And I say a lot of guys. I mean, I could go on rants about how a lot of guys aren't getting this training, but but it's like the complaint that fathers need to be in the home. So my whole thing is, and I've said this before, is that you need to set it up to where fathers in the goddamn home. It's like, what do you do? What do you do in order for that to happen? I mean, many people don't want to get caught up in the right thing. But anyway, see some real quick. See if I can drop this link. Hold on one second. Okay. Let's see. Just bear with me one moment. How's everyone doing? Uh, okay. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll figure it. I'll figure out how to. Okay. Mm, trying to drop this link. If anybody wants to come up, I did say this was an open panel. So just give me one moment. I wish I had some elevator music to play while I was doing this. Do 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 do. Let's see. All right. There we go. All right. One moment. One moment. I'll drop this link because I'm gonna be in this for a while. Okay. Boom. And I really want this to be an interesting conversation. We need productive, intelligent, thinking black men up here. All right. Boom. There you go. All right. Okay, drop that link. Boom. There you go. Yeah, had dropped the link elsewhere. So anyway, people, okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get back to what I was. Let's get back to what I was saying. Okay. All right. All right. I remember. Early on in my professional career. This is before I changed professions. That I was like I was a guy that was very vocal with everyone, and I had a couple run-ins, and they were from the other side. Like I was never afraid to say anything to anyone of any race. Period. I didn't care who you were. I didn't like one thing that some people miss out on is the fact that there are some black guys out there that don't have that little intimidation or that little weak at heart thing that they have going. But if anybody tried to come on, how would I invite them? So okay, but yeah. So but at the same time, once I did that, I crossed into something else, and they held on to it. It was like there was no professional moving up after that. It was no climbing the ladder. I just became a very high strong worker, which means that I was stuck in go to guy instead of climbing the ladder for a while. And it was because of my attitude, because I wouldn't back down for anything. But it was kind of the case of like it would keep when keeping it real goes wrong, but it was kind of also the case of they held on to me because I was a valuable asset. And and but I that because of that I moved from job to job for a second. I was able to get higher pay, higher positions, but I just it was just in that kind of business is no way for you to do really really good without working hundreds of hours a week. So I just kind of wanted something better than that because I don't know. I would say that I was one that got kind of. I was married. I got married. I got married young at an old age. I'll put it like that. So anyway, if anybody would come up, how would they get on here from my cell phone? I don't know. I guess they'll have an alert or something like that. Oh yeah. But once I did that at those jobs, and it was like pretty much the senior level people were white. They held on to it forever. And I was okay with that because I did have that level of accountability. Plus, I always knew that it was going to be one cruel reality. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. See, this is why you don't do this for me. Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that. My wife is on the road tonight, and her sister's having surgery. She's having an emergency surgery, and my daughter's on the road with her. So you know, anytime this is probably why I need a couple people up here. Anytime she calls me or anything, I'm gonna cut out to um, answer her because something may be going on with her, something may be going on with my kid, and anybody who values family, would understand that. But I promise to bring a show Monday night because in on this channel, I'm not very good with keeping promises, but my family comes first. So before anything, this YouTube thing is not a profitable venture for me yet. I believe that if I am consistent enough, one day it probably will be. But I do this because I want to give my perspective to a collective of people who are willing to listen, who want to maybe learn from someone that they probably wouldn't normally learn from. And that's cool for me if you don't think you can learn from anything, learn anything from me, or you think that the only thing that I'm probably good for is a little entertainment and some news. And but uh that's okay too, because I always try to deliver something that someone likes. Like I do news stories, I do celebrity news stories. This just to kind of keep the channel a little interesting. And I do panels, but like I said, in times like this, where you got family stuff going on, just things can kind of get complicated. And I probably lost a couple of viewers, but hopefully they will come back, because I do believe that this is going to be an interesting show. So we're still in the early stages, and I'm still learning how to operate this from my cell phone. So if anybody's trying to use that link, saying, just let me know. Hey, Kev, I'm trying to get on. All right. Well, so all right. So I don't know. It's just it's at this point, if you watch my last week show, you know that I'm a 44-year-old man. So it's and that's cool. I've seen a lot of things, but I'm still at the point where I still haven't seen enough. That I yearn for more, and but it has to be to the benefit of my kid. So so as long as my kid is able to benefit from it and nothing gets in the way of that, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Why I'm talking about being a father and family man so much, that is one aspect that is condemned in our community, as far as a black man, is that we condemn fatherhood quite often. I mean, we don't condemn our own fathers. That's one thing that I feel like that we're very, very good at. We don't condemn our own fathers. Okay. Oh, that's how you add somebody to the stream from the cell phone. Okay.
I just I said let me pop on right now so you can see how this works. How you
Okay.
doing, my brother?
All right. And this is the Roger Report. One of my fellow habitual line stepper brothers. We are down like two flat tires on an old van. Uh, all right. So what's the dizzle?
Everything's smooth, man. I didn't catch the beginning, so I don't know what we kind of on right now, but I'm
Well,
gonna
well,
get
well,
tuned
well
in
you
real
you
quick.
yeah, you ain't missed too much, man. You missed me kind of being a kind of just trying to learn how it works on the cell phone and receiving a couple phone calls. Like me and you talked earlier, I told you that my family's on the road, and to had a family emergency, and I'm gonna have to, if she calls me for anything, I'm gonna have to leave this broadcast.
Oh,
But
okay.
it already happened one time, so just hopefully that hopefully it won't be too many hiccups, but not a year here. I mean, if you probably got to dip off some,
Yeah.
that'll be cool too. But we're gonna try to do this one as long as we can. But anybody, like, so if anybody does use that link in the chat, now that you pulled up, I know how to get them on here from the phone. Great, awesome.
Well, I saw Black Uru in the chat right before I jumped on, so shout out to Black Uru. He done came to my channel a few times. I respect the hell out
Yes,
of that man. He is definitely a
yes,
good brother.
yeah, absolutely, and very beneficial to what we're doing here in this part of YouTube. But there's a commonality that myself, you, and Black Hero have. We're black men, and
Absolutely, absolutely.
and I'm not saying that we got it rough, because I don't want to do the whole victimhood thing with black men. I never want to do that. But we got a little rough, man. Every time we open up a social media website, or we looking on TV, it's just that we're not looking very good. And it seems to me, excuse me, that a lot of our people are okay with that. You kind of touched that on the show. You got to touch on that on the show earlier.
Yeah, far too many of us are definitely okay with it, if you ask me anyway. You know, and my thing is, it's okay to improve. Like, nothing wrong with it. We're not gonna die if we get better. I promise.
I mean, we're not gonna die. We talk about it either, man. Is we run into the most shit because we identify problems, and a lot of the shit that we run into come from the people who are implicated in those problems. You know,
Well,
so
yeah,
it. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say I understand you're gonna get pushback because I mean a lot of us we're so cool with being part of a problem. So when somebody say it's like your mama coming home, you know what I'm saying? Like when you
Mhm.
a kid and your mama come home, the house is dirty, but now y'all see mama outside pocket, but you was supposed to clean up the house before she got home. So now everybody got to
Mhm.
scramble. So of course you don't want her, you love your mother, but you don't want to see her come home. Same thing, you know. So yeah,
Mhm.
we brothers, you know what I'm saying? We brothers of the community that we trying to make the community a little bit better. But of course that's gonna make some folks uncomfortable because now they're gonna have to do something different to get a better result.
Okay. Yeah. Did we let things get out of control, like when they say that we did not lead properly as black men? Or was that more of like what I think and what I talk about is a refusal to accept the leadership that is that we are trying to present, even if everything, that we say leads to the individual or group not being hurt. Like, that's one thing that people taught me. If someone wants me to do something that is going to lead to me getting hurt or set me back, then that's not really good, and you should not follow that lead. So, what is black men telling? Okay, okay. What is black men telling black women that's gonna hurt black women if they try? You know.
Well, for the most part, most of us are not telling them anything that's going to actually hurt them. But the truth is this, and people may not agree, but so I'll just say, what's that phrase that people say when they really about to lie? My truth, okay, my truth,
My truth.
okay.
I was like, all right,
Yeah. You know what I'm
be
saying?
your truth all day, but
Yeah.
facts.
Well, if it ain't everybody else truth, sound like a lie to me. But I, I want to say this though. Uh, where in my belief system, okay, Jesus was the greatest leader that the earth ever had. He led 12 men. And you can really say 11 because one betrayed him.
Hmm.
Is it? Did Jesus mess up what he was doing?
No,
If you
if you think about it, Jesus wasn't perfect if that happened. Because if Jesus was perfect, he would have saw that coming, or he would have picked someone better.
no, well,
But
I mean, technically he did see it coming because he the one told him it was gonna come. So yeah, he did see it coming. But
yeah,
my point
it's
is,
Jesus.
yeah, well, my point is, if you measure leadership based on how many followers you got no clue what leadership is.
Mm, absolutely. I mean, in fact, any black leader, uh, or black men who try to lead or try to drop hints or suggestions are condemned for it. I mean, and that's pretty much anyone. I mean, and it may be like not like condemned like everybody thought that shit, but condemned by a significant number of enough people to for it to be recognized. Like, I mean, you can pick out any black leader, and they always receive vitriol and hate some kind of way. That's a man. Shit, you can think of that with Martin Luther King. Like, he wasn't a very popular guy, especially in his last year of life. Malcolm X, he was killed by people in the Nation of Islam or agents because I don't rule certain things out. Like
Understandable.
agents and plants, but at the same time, I do believe in accountability for our people. If our people were involved, then our people were just involved, agent or not. You know,
But
go ahead.
when I was just gonna say, see, I see it like this. We didn't have plenty of leaders The fact that you didn't follow is your fault. It ain't the leader's fault.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
keep trying to, yeah, people keep trying to put bad results of a follower on a leader. A leader takes responsibility for what he's done. A leader will take responsibility for the assignments he gave. A leader will take responsibility for what he delegated. But if you don't do what the leader said, it's the leader's job to cut you off.
Yeah.
So your bad result cannot be blamed on the leader. You know, if you have a professional basketball team that has a coach and the coach is the leader, and he tell you what play to run, and you know it's the last seconds whether you stay in the playoffs or not. If he draw up a play and you run it and you fail, it's on him. If you succeed, it's on him. But if you ignore what the leader said and you do something else, that ain't his fault. A lot of
and,
folks are trying to blame leaders for something they wasn't told to do.
or they're not directly responsible for, depending on the freedoms they give. Like
What, what,
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
now, I was just gonna say my only point is stop blaming the leader that you didn't follow.
Hmm. Yeah. Or blaming the leader that you decide to follow and blame for him for his principles, like with Martin Luther King. You can have all the hate and vitriol for Martin Luther King you want, and we have people that's in our circle that feel some kind of way about Martin Luther King, and that's cool. But you got to remember one thing: Black people chose to follow that man. They chose to follow. So they didn't have to, but they believed it, and he died for it. Died, dead, gone. No more. Not here. He died for it. And I call it audacity. But is some of it may be reasonable, some of it isn't. But I do call it audacity. But you know, how many of our people in 2020 who feel that way about Martin will be willing to forgive Martin Luther King at this point?
Well, I mean, it's kind of tough for me to even make a real guesstimation on that
Yeah,
because I honestly don't believe Martin Luther King got us to where we get. He didn't get us to where we were going, but I respect the hell out of him for what he did to get us there. I don't think he
yeah,
got his job accomplished. I got a whole different theory on why certain things change, but I got to respect that man for what he did.
yeah.
You know, but my only point is just that we got way too many people trying to blame some leader that they didn't follow. That's my thing. That's rampant in the black community. But now y'all didn't. Well, I mean, what do we hear on a regular basis about black men? If y'all was leaders, we would be doing this, or we would have had this done. You blaming the very men you're not following. That don't make no sense. Yeah, tell me about your husband and how you did everything your husband asked you to do, and tell me how it didn't work out. If you ain't got that story, stop trying to tell me you following all these men. You ain't following
Husband.
your daddy.
Husband. What are you talking about?
No,
They don't believe
I'm saying
they don't believe in getting
I'm
married, but they want kids.
this is what I'm saying. What we and generally when it comes to people talking about leadership of black men, I noticed the pattern of people not following the men they trying to blame. You ain't if you the woman will tell you quick, I'm grown, I ain't gotta listen to my daddy. They'll tell the man they with, you ain't my daddy. Okay, so if you ain't listening to your daddy, you ain't listening to the man you with. How any of your problems based on what a black man said?
Because we supposed to lead. That's the
Yeah, we
logic,
supposed to lead. Yeah, he led. You didn't
and it's not
follow.
clear, and it's never clearly defined. It's never clearly defined. I always ask them if you keep saying lead, and you don't think that we know what leadership is. Tell me what your definition of leadership is, and you will never get an answer. You will never get an answer. So here's what I like from like it may seem like an assumption, and assumptions aren't very good, and I don't like to do it. But it seems to me that they feel like leadership is paying for everything, buying them everything, make sure they don't have to work, and putting up with their shit.
Now, leadership for the average black woman is doing what they say.
Yeah, pretty much. Which means that
Yeah,
they're
it ain't got nothing to do. Whether you can buy them everything or not, ain't it. If you're not doing what they say, you're not a leader in their eyes. but see, my thing is, I get people's trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing for you when you're in a selfish nature to try to put your stuff off on somebody else. So my thing is this: anybody who complain about how you didn't lead, I just simply ask, okay, tell me how you followed the man that led you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what did he do? See, now you're gonna get some cockamamie story, because they're gonna throw the dude under the bus because they don't know they about to be caught up in their own mess. So of course they're gonna throw the guy under the bus, right? Well, he was doing this, and he was playing Xbox all day. He was playing PlayStation all day. He
Oh,
wouldn't
they're
keep
all
no job.
gamers.
Blah blah blah. Okay, so my
Oh,
thing is like, okay, once you tell me all that, then my question is, okay, so why were you following him? If you can sit here and tell me how he wasn't going nowhere, then why would you be in a relationship with him that lasted any significant period of time? So it don't sound like he was the problem. You got the leader you wanted, and you followed him nowhere. So he wasn't the problem.
shout out to Cortez Smith. What's up? We in the game. And here he is stating the very obvious. They gonna lie on the man. Yeah, they gonna lie.
Even if they tell the truth, it's always they trying to throw him under the bus. So they automatically caught up because as soon as you start throwing him in under the bus, whether it's a truth or a lie, now I got to ask you, why are you following him? Why
And they're
didn't
gonna
you
come
follow
up.
somebody that? Oh, my bad, my bad. Go ahead. What you say?
No, I say they're gonna come up with every excuse in the world, and including, well, maybe it's not any of your business, and I don't care what you think.
No, bro. I'm simply gonna get to, why didn't you follow the men you respect? That's where I'm gonna lead you to every time. See, I don't really care how you trying to throw the guy under the bus because it really means nothing to me. I'm just giving you something to say so I can have stuff to point out about you. That's why I got to ask the question. But at the end of the day, you're gonna basically tell me how this guy was a bum of some kind, or this guy didn't know what he was doing. His guy was stupid. He was crazy. Whatever the case is. Okay, and I'm gonna say, well, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so what kind of men do you respect? Blah blah blah. Okay, well, why weren't you following them? See, you once you tell me who you respect, and you tell me how you don't respect the guy that you was with, okay, well, why didn't you just follow the guys that you respect?
They ain't gonna follow their father either, even though they say they respect him.
Well, I mean, talk is talk, but if I can't see it, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So Cortez Smith says there are several reasons they follow the bum. Yeah, we had a clever little label for that, and Roger really pushed this early on, for probably as long as I've known him on social media, which has been about 3 or 4 years. The label is compromised man. Compromised men are easy to control. You know, you know
Well,
that.
that's their thought process. I'm not going to even say compromised men can be controlled,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
women
yeah,
think is easier.
yeah. They think is easy to control. Okay, I'll take that correction right there. They think he's easy to control because he has very little options. Dude can't keep a job, so he got to be a homosexual for somewhere to stay. Uh, so he has to put up with all of her shit. Or that's their
Mm-hmm.
thought process, because he really doesn't have to put up with anything if he just get his shit together. But that's why he's in the situation he's in, and that's why he's a compromised man.
And see, and I want to give some clarity on that too, because I want people to understand there's a through line through compromised men, because they come in all kind of shapes and forms. It ain't just a guy who barely has a job or no job at all. See, you can be the married man, but when you get a side chick and she have your baby, or even if you're just in a relationship with her, you're already compromised because you got to hide everything from your wife. Therefore, you're a compromised man. So I'm saying it's different ways that make you a compromised man. And a lot of sisters, they seek somebody who they feel has a weakness that they can exploit, because they're not looking for the great men that they claim they want. Because if they did, they'd be following those guys.
So, um, let me ask you a question because I saw someone talking about this earlier. Say you are living with a chick and you make less money than her and you have a diff now this is an actual clip on TV. I'm not talking about me, so for the smart asses out there. He showed a clip from a reality show and she was getting all mad with him. And I actually saw a similar situation on the show Girlfriends, where, the guy that Tracy Ellis Ross was dating was making less money than him. I mean, less like making less money than her, and she
Mm-hmm.
was getting all snippy about it. So the chick on a reality show just blowed out, well, you don't be really paying the bills all that good around this motherfucker, and just
Mm-hmm.
demoralized the man.
Yeah, well,
What do you
he
think of
shouldn't
that?
have been there.
What
He
do you
shouldn't have
think
been
of
there in
that?
the first place. He should
He
not
shouldn't
have
have been
been
there
there
in
in
the
the
first
first
place.
place. It,
Mm,
unfortunately, sisters don't know how to help a man like that. When they look at power, they think about. I mean, they look at money, they think about control. Because you can tell how they feel about something based on the
Hello,
arguments they make.
hello.
They yeah,
hello, hello.
yeah.
We got you. But Roger, finish up, and then I'll let this dude get in. Let him
Okay,
introduce himself.
okay,
Hello.
okay. So
Sorry. I'll wait.
oh,
Okay,
okay,
okay.
all right. Well then, okay, well, yeah. If you can tell what sisters think about things based on the complaints they make. So when they talk about men with money, they talk about men controlling them. So in their mind, having more money means more control. Therefore, they'll deal with a guy who has less money because their objective is to control that man. Women have a bad relationship with, or our women have a bad relationship between money and men. Therefore, as a black man, unfortunately, you can't be with a woman that's a good person and she make more money than you at the same time on most occasions. For those things to actually line up, the chances are next to none. You have to make more than your woman already through the door.
Mm,
If you don't make more money than more money than the woman through the door, then she's gonna power trip because that's what they do, and that's what our culture promotes. And as a man, when you signed up for that, you knew you weren't making what she was making when you moved in there. So
mm.
you basically asked for trouble. As a man, I'm not gonna recommend for any man to go asking for trouble.
Okay. There's some truthism from Roger. And we got a new person, Ahmed. Ahmed, introduce yourself to the audience and I'm Kev, and this channel is called Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Of course, you know that, and that's Roger over there. So, what's up, Ahmed?
Hey guys. Uh,
Hello, man.
my whole point is this Black Lives Matter stuff. It's they don't want equality. They want special rights,
Mm,
in my opinion.
all right.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's true. Do you know who the organization is for?
Yeah, for Marxists.
Marxist.
No, what they
Hmm.
clearly have come out and stated that Black Lives Matter is for black women, children, and the
Alph-
LGBT community.
yeah, the
Did
alphabet
did you
community.
know that the founders of that are Marxists, trained Marxists who have studied Marxism?
Mm,
I didn't know they were, but it did make a difference to me once I saw who the founders were, and I
And
already
there's
knew there was
also lesbians, dude.
well, I was going to say I knew there were a
oh,
couple of lesbians, so I already knew it was going to be crazy in itself anyway. But the
yeah. I
thing
mean,
is the goal is not black equality. So my thing is people need to look into the stuff. When I first
Right.
heard about it, I went on their website and I saw who they were for, and they had it on their website that they're anti-nuclear family. There's no way in the world I'm gonna be attached to something that's anti-nuclear family.
You
mm,
see, do you know what really needs to happen? Other blacks need to stand up and show an alternative because these are giving everyone a bad name all over the world.
mm.
Well, this is where black folks have to read sometimes. And I know.
Even even though I know that Black
Mm.
Lives Matter is a tiny percentage of, you know, who they are, but there's got to be an alternative.
Well, I mean, there is
Well,
an alternative. Oh, go
there
ahead,
is an
King.
alternative. There is an alternative. You can just not follow Black Lives Matter and organize the way you want to organize. One way to do that is you have to have some way to connect to a large amount of people, and like it or not, this right here is one of the ways. You can follow anybody's doctrine that you want, but just but the advice I have on something like that is find some like-minded people. You ain't got to follow Black Lives Matter at all. I don't. I mean, it like, and I don't see, and I can't conceivably see if you are for the nuclear black family. How can you follow something like Black Lives Matter after all that shit they say in their website? Like,
You know, how many of the
like
people how many of their supporters do you think even know about that, dude?
they can go to the website. That's just the thing.
I don't
Anybody
think
can go to that
I don't
website
think
and
most of
read
them
that
will
shit.
even know about that. I think personally, it's just people are just hopping on board and
Mm,
using it as an excuse.
okay. Gold Professor Mean said, "What does he mean by other blacks? Could he expound on that, please?"
Yeah, I mean by your everyday regular guy, your working man. They don't care about Black Lives Matter. They got more important shit to be doing. Do you understand?
Mm, yes, I do understand. Um, yeah, Black Lives Matter, not in that particular format, but if something could make a difference that was productive and possible, it did have tangibles for all of us across the board, especially, focusing on the nuclear black family and to strengthen black fatherhood, would you follow it?
Well, yeah.
Or would you still
I
say
believe
something
that's the
like,
biggest problem. So yeah, I'd follow that.
yeah, you'll follow that, and just wanted to make sure that is that you are in fact an authentic thinking, critically thinking, hardworking man. Because I like to think of myself as the same thing. So, if you are in fact that, you're in good company.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay, so just appreciate you coming to the panel and offering your thoughts. So good
Thank you.
shit. Okay, but Gold Professor is saying that he still doesn't understand what you're saying. I think he needs more clarity. Oh, he dropped off the panel. I didn't say he could get off. He just needed to get off. But thank you
Let
for
him know he
coming
can
by.
come. Let him know he can
Thank
come back up if he want to.
yeah. Thanks for coming by, man. You can come back up at any time. Like, seriously. Okay. Okay, but what should, like, the end game should be the black nuclear family, and there is several reasons for that. And if it's a doctrine that you don't want to co-sign to, it's fine. But what my suggestion is that you don't fight people who try to co-sign to that, because I come from a generation at least where the nuclear family worked. I come from a nuclear family. You know, I have three siblings. My mom and dad. They both work, but my dad took care of everything, including the household repairs. I came up in it, and I talked about doing household repairs myself. Although I'm not as crafty as my father was, definitely that. I feel like my father was a man's man, and really, honestly, for black men, that is great. It was very effective on me and my siblings, and everybody that I hung out with had a father or a father presence in their lives, and it was very effective. So why would you want to fight something like that? Seriously, when you've seen it works over and over again so many times.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, and I heard somebody say that Black Lives Matter moved it around in their website. Because when I looked at it years ago, it was right at the beginning. About how they're really for black women, children, and the LGBT community. So they obviously were not four straight black men, and literally said they were anti-black family. So I mean, anti-nuclear family. So I'm anti-Black Lives Matter. Anybody who's anti-nuclear family, I'm anti them. Period. So there's nothing for us to get into. I even had a friend. get me a couple of Black Lives Matter shirts. And I was like, yeah, I can't put this on. She like, why not? See, cause I don't, I ain't mess with that organization like that. You know, what your Black lives are important, not to them. You know, you couldn't
Yeah,
get me, to wear free shirts because I know what they stand for. So my thing
yeah.
is, people just got to look at what they stand for and make your decision.
I got a face mask that says Black Lives Matter, and it was kind of like I was in the parking lot, and I was like, no, I mean I ain't got five. She's like, it's $5. I ain't got $5. I only got two. Keep it. You know, you ain't got to do it. I just give you $2. Black Lives Matter. You know, she threw the mask in the car. Like, damn. You know, so you know, I would like, you know, when like with me and my wife were on the road, you know, one time, and you know, I was traveling, you know, we was traveling to the more southern towns, so I just had the thing in my rearview mirror. I was like, oh, you're gonna make some people mad. I'm like, I don't care. Okay, since you feel that way about it, here's a goes on display. You know, I believe in the same. I believe in the same. I believe that other people in this country have to be reminded of it. They have to be, you know. But as an organization, no, I don't follow that. I mean, I don't appreciate you calling me a cisgender, whatever, cis hetero. Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, it's like there's nothing wrong with me being proud of being hetero, you know, because I mean, it's like, you know, you want me to be okay with you being proud of your, you know, your homosexuality or your pansexuality, you know, you have to be okay with my heterosexuality. That's why you had a heterosexual march up in Boston this past summer. I mean, and it was like it was just to get, and I felt like that was put together mostly for, you know, just to poke fun at that kind of thing, heterosexual pride. But you know, at the same time, you can't really argue against something like that. I mean, you know,
I'm
since
not.
everybody,
I was just gonna say I don't know. I ain't hear about it, but I don't even know if that was put together to poke fun at anything. It's a lot of gay folks that just want to stop straight people from being straight. There are, you know what I'm saying? There's some gay people that hate heterosexuals. You just never hear about it because people focus on straight people that hate homosexuals. But there's some homosexuals that hate straight people. And my thing is, anything that you put Black Lives Matter on is garbage in my opinion. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I use it to clean a tire or something,
and
but I ain't
then
gonna
and
put
then
that on.
and then they're acting like the nuclear family dynamic is an oppressive dynamic. You gotta allow other family dynamics to put, like they act like black men has been like just be out in the street attacking them and trying to rip them apart and telling all the gay people they're not supposed to be couples. Like that's how that website put that shit.
Well, I'm gonna do easy math. I'm gonna do easy math. They're against they're against nuclear families. The less nuclear families the black community has had, the worse we have been as a group of people. So if you against nuclear families, and nuclear families put us in a better position, and we got more freedom now, and we still not in a better position as far as our family is concerned because they're so broken. Yeah, I'm not selling anything that's about anti-family. No, not buying it. Why would you
So
want to tell me to tell my women, my you know what I'm saying, my girls, that it's better for them to depend on the government than to depend on their own men? That is
mm,
stupid.
mm.
The
Yeah, I really
government
hate.
brought us over here as slaves. The government didn't want us free us. You know what I'm saying? They had a whole war about keeping us in slavery, and even decided they was forced to let us be free. The only reason they let us free is because they couldn't economically figure out how to keep us slaves. And I'm supposed to tell people to depend on that government? Nah, I'm cool. I'm straight.
No, no. Oh, let's find another way. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. They stay on us though, and I don't. And like I was telling them, you know, I was comparing it to the white supremacist experience that I had, you know, early in my working life, you know. And the point I was trying to make was, as a black man, if you screw up, you only get one chance to do so, or you're condemned forever. There's no way to forgive you. You're just a bastard in everyone's eyes that you need to sit your ass down somewhere if you screw up one time. You don't deserve any other chances. But a thought, a stripper, you know, who has admitted to drugging and sexually abusing men, raping rather, can speak on the behalf of a political party in probably one of the most important election years in history. Did I kind of was I kind of clear on that, or did
I,
I kind of was it like
I
kind of
know
a
you're
bag of
talking about.
cats?
Now I know you're talking about him. I think is I mean, why would I need her to speak for me? That don't even sound right. Yeah, I can find a
Yeah.
better
But the point,
representation than her.
but we live in those times, man, where black men can make one mistake, but people can come forward with the most egregious BS, and still they can still be revered and respected by people. Now, I'm not saying that every black man that makes a horrible mistake deserves zero accountability. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you need to be consistent across the board with everyone. Don't act like these people can do it, but these people can't do it. Like, we say our stuff about, we say our stuff about what's going on in the community, but we never said that can't nobody else talk
Well, all I was gonna say was that okay, she did something horrible in the past, but
about.
that's
Yeah.
her past. Okay, I can give you that. That's your past. We forgive you. Okay, cool. Who are you right now? I don't want to follow you now. I ain't even worried about her past. I wouldn't recommend anybody follow her now. You know what I'm saying? She don't seem like that's. You know what I'm saying? Based on what I've seen about her, she just don't seem like that much of a stable individual. She just don't.
Not at
You
all.
know. You
All
know.
right.
The only thing good about her is rich. Is she rich? So she can afford to buy somebody to help her. I mean, pay for the help that she needs to somebody to give her. She can afford that, so that's good. And will she use it? I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't tell nobody to follow her now.
Okay, Cortez Smith, the fact that Cardi had that interview is proof that we are in idiocracy. Well, I would say that when you can get millions of followers and you spaz out on Instagram quite regularly with unintelligible shit, and people still be like, "Yeah, girl, yeah," and then that was confirmation for me right there. When that movie came out, it just seemed like you have you ever seen Idiocracy, Roger, where Terry Crews was playing President Camacho, and
No, I
basically,
didn't happen to see that one.
all right, let me tell you about it. Basically, Idiocracy is about, if things keep like the first thing in that movie they presented was the breakdown of the breakdown of the nuclear family. Like they presented one couple, they presented the smart couple, and they presented the idiots. The smart couple was going to do everything smart. They were trying to plan their family. They weren't going to have like one or two kids, but it ended up kind of never happening because their plans kept going awry. But they tried to stick to it, and they tried to stick to this uniform way of doing things. Meanwhile, the idiots are out here just procreating and reproducing over and over again. And what they said that behavior eventually led to like the downfall of man. What you saw in its far distant future was the streets were filled with garbage. People just had pretty much sex with anyone. Everybody was uh everybody was just basically idiots. You know that restaurant called Fud Puckers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. They renamed it, but for this is how bad society got. It, it got ridiculous. And from the way things are going, from the thought processes you see out here and the ones you have access to on social media, we're probably closer to that point than you think, unless a meteor hits the earth and it just starts over. But there's always that small chance of hope. And that like if I felt like that we were done for real, like this little concept of how black pill was explained to me, burn it down and start over. If I really felt like that, I probably wouldn't be on YouTube saying shit. Seriously, you know,
Well,
it's go ahead, Roger.
I often say we still got the power of choice. So my thing is hope
Yeah,
is not lost. I'm not betting on a media to come destroy us. I ain't looking forward to that either. But my thing is if you don't have a family, you don't have a stable society, period. Because people don't even know how to align. You gotta have a
hey,
family, you gotta have people that's trained to deal with other people. You gotta have people that can respect other people. You gotta have people that know how to figure out what to get something done. They gotta think about somebody other than themselves. If you don't have family, you ain't gonna have none of those things. So
yeah.
the basic stuff and that we need is not gonna be available.
Hmm.
So the movie kind of makes sense based on what his prediction would be if there was no family. Because if everybody out for self, that means every child gonna basically be born in a bad situation because the mother ain't really looking out for the child, at least not the way she could. The father ain't finna worry about it because he on his own thing, you know. So it's setting up a lot of catastrophe for later.
Yeah.
So and an organization that tries to push that's not the organization I want to be involved in. Just to bring it back to them. But yeah, it doesn't sound intelligent to me to be anti-family. Period. There's no
No, not
intelligence there.
no. I mean, not if you really want things to improve. Now, let me address Cortez Smith. Not address because that sounds aggressive. But let me tell you what I think about what he's saying on the screen. I don't know if you know about Hoover, Alabama. Yeah, I know about Hoover, Alabama. The Galleria is up there. It's close to Birmingham, Alabama. It's about an hour and 10 minutes away from Montgomery, Alabama, my hometown. So yes, I know about Hoover, Alabama, and Hoover, Alabama is where a good guy with a gun was gunned down by the police officers inside the mall. His name was Emantic Fitzgerald Bradford. He was just home from, he was home from the military, and he there was this incident where some people were shooting at the mall and he tried to intervene and the cops saw that there was a gun on his person and they shot him. So yeah,
Mm.
I know about Hoover, Alabama. So but let me address what he said. I don't know if you know about Hoover, Alabama. When I go there, black couples barely have kids. In the hood, there's random kids running around everywhere. Yeah, Hoover, Alabama is where, like they're just a place like they're full of nice neighborhoods and you know uh, black couples with good incomes. And I guess he's alluding to the point we were making about idiocracy. Yeah, there's a bunch of damn kids. Every time you section 8 something, even the street that I grew up on in Alabama, it was right up the street from Alabama. It was right down the street from Alabama State University. Alabama State University was one of the first HBCUs to do the HBCU marching band style, which I love. But my home, like my the street that I grew up on, looks so sad right now. It looks so sad. It's turned into a hood, like kids on the corner, a lot of baby mamas out there. Like a couple of them pregnant. They got a bunch of kids running around. They brothers and sisters, but all of them look different. I mean, yeah, and this is like I haven't lived there for a while, but my parents moved from there a few years ago. Thank God because it was just getting worse. They say you hear gunshots at night. They throw all kinds of parties. Like what? Like why are you trying to throw parties on a Tuesday night? No, well, Fat Tuesday, but why are you trying to throw parties on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? And where are you getting all this money from? Ain't nobody working over there, you know. So I mean, that's what happened. It's I seen two versions of the neighborhood that I grew up in. The one that had working black fathers in it, And you know, it was a couple college boarding houses, but you know, I saw a lot of college cuties growing up. It was just, it was so awesome. It turned from that to a hood full of single mothers and you know kids that had no guidance in life, that did all of the stereotypical bullshit that we hate so much. You know, gunning people down. My dad was like, before he moved off the street, they found a body in one of the yards of, you know, a couple houses down from him. I was like, huh? It's like I ain't never seen anything. I used to ride my bike around them streets. You know, it's like that'd be like a scene, like that'd have been like a scene out of Boys in the Hood for me. You want to see a dead body? Like, I mean, for real. That like, if I'd have saw something like that growing up, that would have blown my mind. Period. It's like it's like I don't get what happened, and why have we gotten to the point where not only that we're not trying to stop it, but we're trying to fight to keep it, you know? So I've seen that. I've seen it personally. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it up front. How what happens when fathers leave home? Well, not fathers leaving home. None of them fathers left the home. They just kind of they either moved or died off. You know, when fathers are no longer present, I can see what impact it can have on the neighborhood because it impacted the street that I grew up
Well, if a father's not in the home, that's because somebody didn't want him there.
on. Yeah.
That's basically how that goes. If you were wanted, you'd be there 9 times out of 10.
Mm.
You know, and if even if the man decided to get up and leave, that's because he left because he was stressed out because he wasn't wanted. You know,
Man,
you
Patterson
don't want to
Court.
be. Oh, my bad. Go
No,
ahead.
no, Cortez Smith. I remember seeing the projects right by the school. He's talking about Alabama State University. Yeah, you talking about Patterson Court. You may be talking about Tulane Court too, but you know, well, they're called Tulane something else because Tulane Villas, I think, because they tore down those projects and completely rebuilt it because they wanted something sitting beside Alabama State that was looking nice because they redid a lot of the campus and they put that new stadium there too. So I know exactly where you're talking about. I mean, it was like, you know, Patterson Court used to be like for real, like our street wasn't like that. Patterson Court was like that. Now Patterson Court and our street and all the surrounding streets are like that. And it's just really sad for me to see that a house that my father, you know, he fixed up on himself, he took care of it, he paid for all of it, took care of us, raised us in that house. It's like in a neighborhood overrun by scallywags, you know. So I understand the importance of having a nuclear family present or the nuclear family dynamic present, you know, in these neighborhoods, in these black neighborhoods, you know, in these black communities. I understand how what a positive effect, and there's so much evidence to that. Okay, but I don't know. There's a Cortez Smith. Yeah, the fathers leaving is a myth painted by the media. We know women leave relationships. Yeah. But I'm gonna make this point right here. Roger had to go real quick, so thank you for coming by, Roger. Oh, there he is.
What's cracking? My bad.
Oh, I thought you
uh,
were gone because you said you had to leave. You know.
no,
So
I am about to leave in a few minutes because I do gotta go. But
yeah.
yeah. But my thing is when you talking about the condemnation of the fathers. Well, see, that's part of the condemnation. They like to paint this story that everyone that these black men are leaving these homes, and brother Archer had made a clear point that I heard him say, and that's something we do need to show the relationship of. And I've said it myself that women, you know what I'm saying, usually when relationships end, the woman ends the relationship. So you can't have a bunch of fathers leaving the home, but when you start asking a woman when she get dumped, oh, I ain't never been dumped. You know, now you can't have both of them at the same time. So that
Mm.
is part of how they just condemn black men, and they just be making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, black men got to stop being cool with all these made up narratives about how they didn't do something that they were supposed to do. When the truth is, it's just a bunch of lies. And like I was talking about when it comes to followers, just a bunch of people that ain't following no leadership, and then they trying to blame leadership that they weren't followed for their results. It's a bunch of
Hmm.
nonsense.
Absolutely. And let me say that too. It's something I said before. Excuse me. He's saying, yeah, the father's leaving is a myth. I mean, the father's leaving a home is a myth because there was no home setup. Like in today in 2020, in most cases, it's like you really can't call it a home. You call it you can call it spontaneous acts. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but if you don't have an established home or some kind of established plan where you were living together and you were gonna get married, but boom, you got pregnant, and then he just decided to say, "Hey, fuck it, I'm gone," which really, the whole cigarette stories anyway. That's a perpetuated narrative. Then I mean, unless that particular situation happened, it wasn't a home. You're already in marriage. You got everything going. Both of y'all may have good jobs. Maybe he's taking care of everything. Maybe you're sitting at home doing nothing. Boom, you get pregnant. He decides, oh, I'm
Man, I'm
leaving.
gonna say
That's
this.
what they
I'm gonna
want
say
you to
this.
believe.
I'm gonna say this, man. Who knows somebody that was with a man got up
So,
pregnant at any point. At any point, the man got up pregnant. I don't care if it's one, two, three, four, five kids, and then that guy just left. Who knows a woman that's in that situation? You can't even think of somebody you know like that.
okay.
Where you know what I'm saying? If it was a prevalent situation, we'd all know a bunch of women who was living with a guy and then that guy left and she had children. I don't know
Uh,
any woman that's in that situation.
Hey, let me shout out the $3.16. They even chased out the stepfathers. It's like, damn, won't nobody put up with this shit now. But anyway, Cortez Smith. I grew up in Central Park, which is in the Inslee area, and I literally never saw a father leave. I specifically saw a few women take the kids and leave.
Well, I mean, women are known for that. It's like, but see, black men don't talk about that all the time. Women get upset, she leave, and then she take her kids because that's what she feels she has leverage. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Mm,
tried and true story that women just leave and they think the kids belong to them, so they're gonna take the kids. I ain't
mm,
staying here, and I'm getting the kids and I'm leaving. Like who ain't heard that type of stuff talked about? But when do
mm.
fathers get up and leave? Come on now, some of us got to know a bunch of women who got a bunch of kids, and some dudes was living with them, and they all just got up and left. If it's anything like what they say, and I don't know any of these people. I ain't
I
never met
mean, and
any of
then
these
and then
people.
you got to understand a lot of these situations where there are father mother nuclear family home. The father is the guy who owns the house. I mean, divorce, maybe he'll probably like I've seen, a situation where a guy got a divorce and he moved into an apartment and let his wife and his daughter stay at the house, which is just him looking out for his daughter. I don't
Yes,
know what.
it's plenty of men that let the woman keep a house after the divorce. I ain't gonna say that's not true at all, but in those situations where we talking about a divorce, who initiates divorce? Usually it's a woman.
But is I don't know. I don't know. I guess I can't envision him leaving the home if he signed it. He signed on the lease for it. That's all I'm
N-
saying. He
No
signed the
man wants to
mortgage.
leave. No man wants to pay for a home that he can't use.
No, not at all.
So yeah, that's a bunch of hogwash. Men don't
I
get
think that
married
I
to
think a
get
lot of that
divorced.
I think a lot of that narrative comes from the fact that these women feel unwanted at the end of the day. That the guy
It,
don't
it,
want them, and they try to put the kid in between all that shit. But really, the issue is you, bitch. Like that. But
I,
they all go ahead.
no, I just gonna say I think it comes from this narrative. It comes from black women being able to lie on black men, and black men not calling them out for being liars. That's where it comes from. If we call them out for being the liars that they are, they might think twice about lying. But nowadays they don't think about that at all. What won't they say about a black man at this point?
Well, should we be used to it?
I mean, you could be used to it, but that don't mean we ain't got to call them out for it though. I'm used
Yeah.
to it all day long. But I call them liars, and a lot of women get offended at me because I call her a liar. My thing is like, what you want me to call you? See, you sitting here lying? Well, what should I call you? You got a better
Yeah,
word
you
for a
know how
liar?
many, you know how many females I've talked to that have tried to tell me a story, and then I just started to break them down, and it just like I was like, okay, all right, it's like this. You tell me that good guys aren't really good and bad guys are bad. I turn around and ask the woman, and this is the actual conversation. She tells me that she thinks good guys are bad and then bad guys are good. So I asked her where her boyfriend was. She said he's away. I said, is your boyfriend in prison? She's like, why does he have to be in prison? I was like, answer the question. She's like, yeah, he in prison. Then proceeded to make excuses on her choices. Well, the good guy, she called him the pretty boy. The good guy, they just try to trick up and set a female up and to hurt them. But the bad guy, the thug, they let you know, at least let you know where they coming from. So I was just like, okay,
Right.
if you
Prison.
stand on a train track, and I told her just like this, if you stand on a train track and there clearly is a train coming, and I'm screaming at you to get off the fucking train, but you're saying, nah, that train ain't gonna do all that. I mean, at least I know it's coming. If I get on your track, you might end up hitting me and try to trick me into believing that you're not gonna hit me. All right, we'll get run over by the fucking train. you know, it's like I'm not gonna put myself at risk, get my foot stuck in the plank, and then get hit by a train because your stupid ass wouldn't get off. I mean, if people weren't following that, I barely followed that. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, if you get yourself in a fucked up situation, here's two things. Number one, I am not going to save you. I mean, I have to really care about you and sacrifice it. Like you have to be my kid. You have to be my kid. Uh, Number two, I am not to blame. I cannot be accountable when you hurt yourself. You cannot say I'm not protecting you if you put yourself in that situation.
Uh, bro, you just told a story about a woman. Her leader is in prison. Enough said. Ain't nothing to discuss. Your leader in prison. Okay, cool. I see you. Know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing to explain. I understand your life probably sucks. Your leader is in
Yeah,
prison.
yeah, and I told her right there, it's like this is one of the dumbest things I ever heard. And she looked at me like she was looking at I don't know, space or something. I don't know. She had this far away look in her eye. I can always look behind the eyes and tell who these people are. It's like there's some inauthenticity to it. You know, it's crazy, but these people aren't hard to figure out.
Uh,
It,
Kev, I don't think you heard me, bro.
but
Her, her leader is in prison.
oh, okay, so at the end of the day, with that fact being said, why even toil over
No, there's nothing to talk about. Your leader's in prison. You follow the man that's in prison. He literally not going anywhere.
Hey,
Literally.
but you know what though? But you know what though? That you know what I'm about to say. You know what the sad part about that was? That was
Was that?
2008. That was 2008.
Wow. Okay. So she holding him all the way down, huh? She's a loser. So she'd have been got somebody else.
No, no, no. I had this conversation in 2008.
Oh.
The
Oh,
mentality,
okay.
the point I was trying to make was the mentality was bad back then, and this is what it's evolved into. At least back in 2008, it wasn't really too much defense of it. Not like it is now. Not just it's just a barrage of insults and blaming black men. It was just that the women were back then weren't admitting to their choices. They was like, I'm gonna go get me a thug. He know how to treat me right, even though he ain't stable. All this other shit, blah blah blah. And guys like me were telling them that, you know, you deserve what you get if you put yourself in that situation.
Well,
But now it's okay. Black men ain't shit. He a black man. That's what connects him. He black. He black. He a male. So black men ain't shit. I ain't got nothing to do with this. It wasn't my
well,
choice.
well. My stance is if you like men that are proven failures, because you like failures, and your attraction to failures is your business. Because you know what I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
you can't. and it's not really even about being a failure. But if the man, come on, if the man in prison, come on now. Now, it'd be one thing if you could tell me he got arrested on some bogus charge and got sent up, he got railroaded. That'd be different. But if the man just doing criminal stuff and then got caught up and he went to prison, and you staying with him, how dumb are you? It's hard to prove that you're not dumber than anybody else at that point. I mean,
Mm.
even a child can figure out I don't
That's,
rely on the man that can't walk away. How you
well,
gonna
well,
feed me and you in prison?
well. I mean, that's part of their delusions, though. I mean, when you factor in delusion, then it pretty much puts all the puzzle pieces together. So,
Bro, if you tell me your leader is in prison, now I understand if it was something like Dr. Martin Luther King and you fighting some grand battle, but you just telling me you got a regular dude and this regular dude is in prison, so you literally with a man that can absolutely do nothing for you, and you think that's good. You're an idiot. Sorry,
yeah, but let me ask you this: Am I wrong for assuming that her boyfriend was in prison when she said he was away? Many would
it's
say
not,
in 2020. Many would say in 2020 I was.
man.
That I hate my own people.
If you
That
can
I hate my mother.
recognize, bro, if you can recognize her problem, that's her fault, not yours.
Did I stereotype her? I mean, it's not a stereotype if it actually applies. Am I correct?
Bro, you recognize her problem. That's her fault, not yours.
Mm, yeah, that thing called accountability. But it's that's just the way it is.
Bro,
But
if I can talk to you and figure out that your man in prison, everything coming out your mouth is screwed up. Come on now.
yeah, I mean, it was just conversation. I just didn't think she had a little thing going on with her, with her tight apple bottom jeans being, but that was somebody that I would have never, like considered even trying to be serious with because she already presented that mentality. A lot of brothers get caught up in women like that, and then they get messed up. Everything messed up, everything crazy.
Bro,
I've seen
uh,
many of my friends. Go ahead.
now I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna have to cut out. But I'm gonna say this, bro. You talk to a woman, you didn't think her husband or her man was at the grocery store. You didn't think the dude was at school. You didn't think the dude was at work. You didn't even think he was on the block slanging drugs. You just from her talking, you figured out he in prison. That makes there's
Sometimes that could be
no way to be flattering about this situation. There's no way to be flattering about this. I don't
the
want to just
path is
call her.
straightforward.
How do you talk to a person and you just based on how they talking? If you got a man, he got to be in prison.
Maybe it was the fake eyelashes. I don't know. But I mean, but once you start talking to that little tone, I was like figure a couple things out. I mean, mannerisms and such. What they say women do to us, and they how they notice everything about us. I can kind of pick out some mannerisms too. But that just I don't know. Maybe I should give myself a little credit. I don't know, but I shouldn't because it wasn't that hard to figure out. I mean, you shouldn't give yourself, you shouldn't be proud of the third place trophy.
I mean, you recognize the loser, and she mad she getting mad because she decided to lose. She lost before you showed up.
Proper.
You
I
just
mean,
recognize that she lost.
it is proper discernment. That's all. And is I don't want to I don't want to hear brothers like we're here to help. So
Yeah, and
we're here to help.
real talk. But in the spirit of help, women don't be a loser on purpose. Okay,
No, not on purpose.
if you if your man don't like you enough to stay out of prison, you
I'll be there
you
for
might
you. Yeah.
you might want to get another. If he don't like you enough to stay out of prison, you might get another. And this has nothing against anybody who went to prison under like on some false charges. Not the innocent folks who got drugged by the system, but I'm talking about a person who got caught doing something. If he don't like
Mm.
you enough to stay out of prison, you may want to reconsider your options. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Rush. Hey, one more thing before you go. One more thing before you go.
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you a really cryptic question. Uh, the on the scale of 1 to 10, the what do you think the black manosphere's usefulness is in black YouTube on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, it's an absolute 10.
Correct. And for those who don't think so, we can explain it to you in the most civil way possible. No, I'm just saying we'll start off there. Just just but yeah, I'm glad you said that. So
Well, I mean, it's being a help to men and it's being a help to women. So anything that's being a help to men and women, our own people, it's a bunch of black men showing leadership, helping our people. I don't. There's nothing to be negative to be said about that concept. I'm sorry.
mm,
That's called leadership. That's called doing something to help people. That's a form of leadership. Now,
mm,
some people may say, well, you should lead a different way. No, you need to lead it in the way that you think somebody else should be leading. People should
mm,
lead in the way that they know they can do well. That's what you should lead in. What suits you, what fits you and your personality. That's what you should lead in. If you think somebody else should be doing it, that means you just recognize the gap that need to be filled. Why are you not filling it since you recognize it? You see what I'm saying? If somebody else
mm,
is already doing something, you don't tell them stop doing this and fill this other gap. No, you fill the gap that's there.
mm.
But you don't tell somebody
Absolutely.
else to stop being useful and fill this other gap that I think is more important. That's stupid.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Real shit.
Yeah. But I gotta let you go. I'm gonna make some moves, and so for anybody who out there want to check out the Roger Report live, I'll be on tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. Big shout out to Uru. Oh well, Black Uru. Big shout out to you. Appreciate you, brother. And
Okay.
thanks, Kev, for the opportunity to shine. Thank you, my good man. Long live the habitual line steppers.
All right. Long live the habitual line steppers. You better believe it. Thanks, Roger. You've been good as always. And he's correct. Check out the Roger Report mornings. So I'll put that link in. What I'll do is I'll put that link in my description. So people who come over here and watch this video can link up to your channel and hit you up with a sub, and you can see what's going on with that. So thanks, Roger.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll talk to you later. Peace
All right,
out.
bro. All right, brother. Peace. Hmm. So Cortez, yeah, I'm about to, yeah, Cortez. If they notice everything about men, then it's more proof that they purposely choose the wrong men. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If you notice all of that and you pick and choose what you like and what you don't like, it's your fault you end up with that dude. I mean, yeah, so that is absolutely 100% accurate. It's like you can't blame the guy at that point. And you also stated that he's likely doing things to impress her that lead to prison. It's like, yeah, trying to be a bad boy, because that has certainly been validated in the dating game. They constantly feel like that the bad boy can protect them, even though he gets into the most goddamn trouble. Like the guy that can stay away from trouble is the one that could is protect you, because that's automatic protection if you're not around the trouble. But common sense. That sounds too much like right. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna go ahead and make this point about okay the criticism of the black manosphere, and black manosphere is ever growing and it's adding new members more often than less often. The black manosphere to me is just a collection of YouTube. Well, maybe not YouTube channel, not just YouTube channels, blog sites, websites, um, that has a wide spectrum of black male thought, different ideas. They come from different walks of life, different professions. But according to a lot of other people, according to the naysayers, the black manosphere is nothing but a bunch of men who whine and cry about black women all day. That's the label that they put on the manosphere. There have been some people in black YouTube that have gone as far as to trash and desecrate and bash and really just try to destroy the how everyone looks at the black manosphere. And I don't think that that's very fair. But you have some very strong minds in the black manosphere that can definitely prove those people wrong. And what I'm thinking is like this. It's not because of the reason they stated. Deep down, it's just because it's centered around black men. It's this that's all it has ever been. We had this little hate fetish for, ideas that black men present and whatever black men do. And the reasons from the other side is always, well, it's because black men saying this and black men saying that. And I thought that we were allowed certain freedoms of speeches and all this other stuff between the whole entire black manosphere. That's like is like hundreds of thousands of people watch this stuff, whether they're subscribed or not. And it's going to be something that is going to become bigger and better one day. And I do support an effort like that. I can't hate on brothers trying to talk about, things that we actually need to discuss. I can't hate on that. It's like, why would you want to hate on any collection of black men trying to move this thing forward? We've always faced that as black men, people trying to silence us because, we had it, Roger said the whole my truth thing, but I mean, a lot of these black manosphere channels have guys who have like superior IQs and very successful careers, and they offer something useful not only to people who their audience, but to the black community in general. Now, if your angle is okay, all I want to do, like there are weirdos out there. I do understand that. There are weirdos out there, and they try to hide behind things and such. But pretty soon the black manosphere could become a recognized thing. So my suggestion is organization. Some kind of organization. I don't know how that's going to happen, but hey, you know what? We'll see. But let me talk. Let me see. Cortez, LMAO. In the meanwhile, there is a large female sector that blatantly talking crap and lying on black men, but those people never critic the women. Yeah, they never do because those same people that shit on the black manosphere are the same people will say that just let these women say what they want to say, walk off, whatever. And but see, the people who say that will continuously shit on black men with these people. It's like I used to look on, like, I'll look on YouTube, I look on broadcasts, I look at the subscriptions I have. I've subscribed to a lot of YouTubers that I don't agree with because I support black people being on YouTube. I may not watch them necessarily all on a regular basis, but I do subscribe to them. But I know by scrolling up and down the timeline of who talks about what, because I've paid close enough attention to that. And I'll see, I'll look at the title and then I'll look at stream was for like 7 hours. It's like, God damn. And then I'll skip, okay, I tell from the title there's something negative about black men. So I'll just go in the video, I press play on the video. It gives them a view, whatever. I subscribe to them, I give them one view every 3 months. And then I'll just skip through certain parts of the video. And it be the same circular ass shit about these black men talk about this, these black men talk about that. But in the same breath, they're upset about what black men are talking about. Why do people do shit and complain about other people doing the same thing is beyond me. But it's it's black man centered, so I guess it's okay to bitch about it for a few hours. My Facebook group, Black Man Centered. I tell you, that group wasn't even alive for like a full weekend, and the shit had already hit the fan. Black men being brutally honest with like everybody had that attitude towards because it was black man centered. Because we want to condemn everything a fucking black man do. Is just that whether it's positive or not, you're not okay. In order to be a leader and to be able to lead, you are gonna have to make some unpopular decisions. Period. It's gonna have to be that way, and it's no way to get around it. And if you don't like the decision, but just analyze what these people are trying to say. It's like your feelings don't matter, but if the end is a positive one, then I suggest that you kind of co-sign with it. It ain't gotta be it. I ain't gotta like what's being said, but if it's for the greater good, then shit. I think you offer a listen. It's gonna have to take me admitting certain things, but everybody's free to do that shit. I mean, so because how productive is okay if you really care about black men and you want black men to improve, or as you say, um, how does that get done? Having hours upon hours upon hours of broadcast shitting on black men. It's kind of seeming like you're trying to make black men the enemy, or you're trying to poke, or you're trying to avoid accountability. So all I'm saying is get ready. If anything, that's going to make the black manosphere grow even more, because it's like how some of these young people are sounding right now. I mean, they don't sound like how y'all think they sound, because I always hear this black one. I ain't gonna raise my son to sit up and talk about black women. No, y'all sons talking about black women. Is your sons doing it right now? I mean, whoever that is, but I mean, I'm not gonna call pointing out bullshit bashing. I'm never gonna do that. But anyway, what like I said, I don't want you. I said I don't want anybody to stop doing anything that is negative or uh. Okay, Blaze Blah. Shout out to Blaze Blah. How you doing? I don't want them to stop. I want them to stop trying to condemn. I just want to make fools of themselves. I want them to shut themselves down. Because it's like some of us are always up for a good debate. I mean, you too. I mean, if you're not talking, what the fuck are you doing? Well, all right. That's pretty much. I'm gonna wrap this up. Just the quick condemnation of the black man. We know it exists, and we're here to reverse all that shit. So anyway, peace out for tonight. Long live the habitual line steppers and Kev we trust. Goodbye.